Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Deck Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmadou.
Welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Deck Talk. Today, we're going to discuss the new Link monsters and Link summoning mechanic. So what is it? How does it affect the current style of play? And how do players feel about the new changes? Let's check it out. To start, due to the new Link summoning rules, the game board has made a few changes. The first notable change is the addition of the extra monster zone. There are 2 extra monster zones, one for each player, which is the designated spot to summon a monster from the extra deck. If played correctly, there's a potential to Link summon into your opponent's extra monster zone. Now, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. Much of this is still speculation on my part, though. But I guess once we get more information, we'll gladly relay that to you folks. So anyway, what if you want to summon more than one monster from your extra deck? Well, that's where the Link monsters come into play. Link monsters are summoned from your extra deck using the required number of monsters from your field as tribute. They can be any monster unless specified otherwise on the card. Now you'll see the indication on the bottom right hand corner next to the attack number. You'll see it'll say Link and then it'll give you a number. So say if it says Link 2, that means you need to tribute 2 different monsters. So there are a few details unique to the Link monsters. First, they only have an attack power stat. These monsters must stay in attack position if my understanding is correct, and they also have arrows on various corners and sides of the Link monster card's artwork. These arrows indicate locations on your board where you can special summon from the extra deck adjacent to the card that is your Link monster. It's interesting because now you want to pay attention to each monster slot you use on your board depending on where the arrows on your Link monsters are. So it adds a different dynamic where I guess now it's being treated more so as more of a board game on top of a card game. So it just adds an extra dynamic for you to pay attention to. Now what Link summoning does is change the dynamic of how many extra deck monsters can be summoned at a time while shifting the priority of play to these new Link monsters depending on your style of play with your deck. In essence, this is an attempt on Konami's part to slow things down. It looks like they're trying to get away from the one-turn combos that fill the board with fusions, synchros, and Xyz monsters and shift the focus to board placement thanks to these new Link monsters, which I guess can create a wide range of new strategies depending on your style of play. Now, one other change to the board is the shift of pendulum zones to the actual spell and trap zone, because they used to be off to the side, but now they're included in your spell and trap slots. So, if you fill both of those pendulum spots, you only have 3 spaces on your board left for magic and trap cards. It sounds like Konami's trying to also lasso back in many of those pendulum decks that they may have considered to be broken. In my opinion, not as much, but that seems to be the route that they're taking. So I guess also in my opinion, I think the addition of the Link summoning mechanic is a really exciting change, but it seems like there's plenty of people who are not so thrilled with the drastic change to a familiar format. In a way, it's kind of flipped the card market on its head in some cases. Some cards that were considered very valuable in the current format are not necessarily as effective in a Link summoning environment, driving the prices down. And other cards that were seemingly irrelevant in the current format are now in high demand thanks to the upcoming mechanic. One thing that I've been hearing a lot of is now the emphasis of cards like Scapegoat, where you can take advantage of tokens. Because from what I'm hearing, tokens are still usable as far as Link summons. Now, is that how the official rules are going to be when it comes out on the TCG? Not sure, but we'll find out. So, for the players who don't want to buy into the new Link format, I saw that there's a petition that's been created on change.org. It's a petition for multiple official formats, one being the Link format and the other being the non-Link format. So we have more than one option of style of play. The link is on the YuGiOh Deck Talk Twitter and Facebook as well. Because I've noticed that other card games have multiple competitive formats, and they seem to be pretty successful. Now with this, Konami has the perfect opportunity to do something similar now that they're introducing the new Link mechanic. It would be nice to see players compete in both the current 2017 format that we're dealing with now, with the fast boards and no limits on extra deck summoning, as well as an official competition following the new Link rules. More options means more opportunities. So what this would also do is probably give players a reason to collect more cards and build more decks in order to compete in the two separate formats if Konami decides to do multiple formats. This would help Konami increase the value of more cards because of the usefulness in different formats, and it would also drum up more interest from casual players who may prefer one style over the other. So by offering multiple official formats, it would be a win-win for duelists and for Konami, at least if you look at it that way. But after all of that, I'm excited about Link summoning. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to these new rules and kind of experimenting around with some of my decks that were considered too slow in the current format. And we'll see how things implement with Link summoning. But if there's anything that you listeners would like to add about your thoughts or concerns on Link summoning or having multiple formats, just let us know on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk Facebook page or on our Twitter. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Join us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk. Tell us about the decks you want to see broken down and analyzed. Discuss strategy and new cards. Meet other duelists. It's all on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk Facebook page. Like it today.